Thank you, John. Well, for those of you who have had the pleasure to meet Scott and get to know him, you probably know that he has a little bit of an ego. That's the first thing that I learned about Scott working with him. But it contributed to some of the best memories I have of him at the Vidette, him arguing, normally with our editor-in-chief, Amy, about a story idea that he loved that she wasn't so fond of. Sometimes he was right, sometimes she was right, although he might still argue with me about that part. But no matter what he was working on, feature, column, a game recap, he put in an incredible amount of work. And that was the second thing I learned about Scott, is that he has a work ethic that nobody can compare to. We would kind of joke at the Vidette that if we ever needed to find Scott, we could just go to the Vidette building. He'd be in the 6th hour of his game recap from the night before. But you see what that hard work has gotten him. Working at USA Today is an obvious testament to his quality and the amount of work he's willing to do. But what impresses me most about Scott is how he uses that platform. The articles in particular he's done on gay athletes and coaches and their struggle, they've really resonated, and I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that they've made a difference in people's lives. And that's just so amazing. And I look forward to reading what Scott writes. I look forward to sharing it with my friends and telling them that my friend wrote that. That makes me really proud, and I'm proud to know him. I'm prouder to be here today to introduce him. Tom?
So I was co-sports editors with Scott for 2 years. So kind of building on Chris's point about Scott's ego, it happened to be the first thing that I noticed when I was introduced to him at the Vidette building. I had accepted the position of sports editor without having met my co-editor at all. So Scott came strutting through the door in his polo shirt. He looked more like a high school basketball player that had just hit the game-winning shot the night before and was walking through the hallways just pointing and acting like he was the man and living in the glory of all of that. So outwardly I was nice to him, but inwardly I was rolling my eyes and thinking, what did I just get myself into? But first impressions aren't everything. At the time I had no idea that I was meeting a guy that would become like my brother. I was set to graduate in December of 2009, but stuck around that spring semester in part because of what Scott and I had built in the sports section, and in part with all the sub-eds and everything that we had going on. I think I can speak for everybody when I say Scott pushed all of us to be better. It's hard to slack off or even have a lazy thought when you see somebody working as hard as he was every single day. Between covering basketball and football here, running the sports section, and writing a column all at the same time, it was obvious Scott would go on to do great things in his professional career too. I still remember when he told me about a part-time job he was offered at the Panagraph, but decided to hold out and wound up at the USA Today internship shortly after. Scott turned that internship into a job immediately after graduation, dominating the national sports journalism scene from DC to LA to now Chicago. This honor is well-deserved, and that's why I'm privileged to introduce Scott Gleason.
Thanks, Chris and Tony. That was beautiful. I'd just like to start off by saying what a tremendous honor it is to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I'd also like to thank John for everything. This is a pretty amazing feeling. So thank you for everything tonight for all of us. I know this is an award that's based on our career accomplishments, and I've undoubtedly been blessed to have had some amazing opportunities in my career, really, truly getting a chance to live out a childhood dream. I wanted to be a sports writer since I was 13, and I got my first chance really at the Vidette. So in a lot of ways, it feels almost as though it's kind of coming full circle based on where I'm at in my life. I can sit up here and talk about how the Vidette is a great career starter. I can talk about all the memories that we had on Locust Street. But instead, I want to talk about what this award means to me. It represents family. Of all the things that the Vidette has given me, it was a family to fall back on when I needed you all the most. The last time I was at a podium like this was at my father's funeral. Ironically, I feel like I'm looking at the same faces right now. It was 4 years ago Wednesday that I lost my father to cancer. He was my best friend, and I miss him every single day. He read every single Vidette story I ever wrote, but I know that he's still reading and listening now. A week before he passed, Tony flew out to DC to be there for me. That's when I knew we were brothers. You know, of all the things that the Vidette has given me, aside from, family to fall back on, it's sort of a light. You know, one of my favorite sayings is, gotta read it here so I don't forget it. It's walking in the dark with a friend is better than walking alone in the light. And that's what all of you guys have given me. The people here in this room and the people back home, you know who you are. You've all helped me make me the man I am today. It was a former photo editor who helped me in California and saw the strength in me when everyone else saw weakness, inspiring me with her passion, with an unyielding passion in her career. Everything that you're doing is amazing. It was another former photo editor, a Hall of Famer himself, who set the bar for history being made. Both in my time as a journalist, as well as a part-time rap artist. We have a mixtape. I was a former features editor who I lived with in DC and really helped me get through a tough time, and I was able to become full-time at USA Today based on that friendship, Brandon. There's another pair of features editors who've inspired me by starting families. Chris, your and Phil's weddings are some of the funnest memories of my life, and I'm so happy for you with your baby girl. There was a former front page news writer who helped me find myself and really find my faith in God. And whether she realizes it or not, she helped me find my true calling after journalism. There was another former news editor